All right, I have Dustin Veinott of CMBJJ who's coming off a big kickboxing win at NEF 44 this past weekend. Dustin, how are you?
Good, good. Yourself?
I'm doing good, man. And we talked a little bit at the venue before your fight, and you've really been through so much to get back to just competing. Not just winning, but just in there competing. And I want to dive into all that here shortly. But first, just talk about this win, a split win over Geraldo Reyes. I never know what to think sometimes when you go to the judges' scorecards nowadays, just because you just don't really know what they're looking at. How confident were you that you did enough to get your hand raised before the judges rendered their decision?
So I definitely was confident that I won that fight. I feel that the clinch and those knees were the difference in the fight. I know he landed some shots, but I think I landed some shots as well. It was a good back and forth. Huge props to him. Not many people would take a fight with somebody with 9 fights on their record, and it's his first fight. So kid had balls. He has heart. Tough kid. But I was very confident. I thought that I would win unanimously, not split. I'm kind of sad on my performance, let down. But it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
What round do you think did he do best in? Like, if you felt you were going to win unanimously, like what 2 rounds specifically did you think were definitely yours?
I feel he probably won, if anything, the second round. I think that's where he landed the most shots. Um, there was a point, I believe it was the second round. It's kind of all a blur now, that he hit me and I shifted my weight to my back leg. And for the people, like training partners, everybody knows that I have pretty sure I have a torn ligament in my knee, and my knee kind of gave out for a second on me. And by the time I was able to recover from the knee, had already landed a bunch of shots. So I knew that was going to be a tough round to get back. But I feel the first round and the third round, I was very dominant, especially in the third round. That's when I felt more loose.
How did it feel just to be back in there, man? Just back in there
Oh
competing.
man, it felt great. It's like you said earlier, it's been a long time coming. I've had this is my 10th fight, but it's been 5 years. And before I walked out, it was like my first fight all over again. I had the nerves, but because I've done this so many times, I was able to bring myself, compose myself a little bit better. I knew what to expect. I tried to bring energy to it. I knew the first fight is always the make it or break it. Try to just maintain that high energy. I was pumped, so it felt good to be in there.
Now, did you want to initially have an MMA bout? Why kickboxing bout? Is that just all that they found you for this time?
So the reason why I went kickboxing, for one, I've always wanted to do a kickboxing fight. I feel I'm more of a striker than a grappler personally, but I have a bad knee. I had knee surgery in November. They told me not even to train for a year. Obviously, it hasn't been close to a year yet, and I injured my knee right at the beginning of training camp. So I couldn't run. I couldn't do jujitsu. I couldn't do anything. I My plan in this fight was to box, and I was throwing head kicks. So I don't know where that came from, but yeah, I have a really bad knee right now. So MRI was this morning. Get the results soon, and then we'll go from there.
As far as the whole event goes, down there in Milford, New Hampshire, the Hampshire Dome, I loved the venue. I mean, it was really cool being in that like soccer dome like bubble. The only thing that I struggled with was the heat a little bit. All in all, like, how was the venue? How did you guys like it from a team aspect? From all the guys you talked to at CM.
It was weird. It was different. Extremely hot, like you said. I watched your video with Caleb earlier, and Caleb was saying like you get the warm up before the warm up. You're sweating before you even start doing anything. But I didn't mind it. I'm from Florida, so for me that's not bad. I like how they put the screen like up on the top so everybody could see it, huge. But it was different not having locker rooms. It was different knowing that your opponent is literally 10 feet away from you, behind a curtain. It's it's crazy. You know, it's different. But I liked it. I liked how open it was. I figured that they would have put the cage in the middle, but, you know, hey, whatever. You know, it worked out. Didn't have to go far. Obviously, I cornered a lot of the fighters after. I have to do pads, warm people up. So I didn't have to walk far, as in like the Coliseum, you have to walk all the way back. You know, it's a lot of walking. This one was very short, really quick, you know. So
Yeah.
overall, I liked it, you know.
And you guys had a huge group of fighters down there competing. It was a big night for your gym. I just want to start with Caleb Austin, because this kid is super impressive. Every time I see him fight, it's like he's just getting better and better. What do you look at as far as his evolution as a fighter? Like, how much better is he from the first time he fought Ploss?
Caleb's a stud, man. His wrestling is like no other. You know, we fight at the same weight class, and that guy, once he's getting on top of you, it's so hard to get him off. He's so strong. You've seen him. He's a physical specimen. You know, he's very big. I'm not very strong. I'm not a very big guy. I'm very skinny, tall, but skinny. You know, he's just a short tank. You know, he's improved a lot. You know, his grappling has been really good. His jiu-jitsu defense is phenomenal. It's a lot better. You know, he's working with likes of Travis Wells, Jesse Erickson. You know, those guys are studs. Travis obviously being the owner of the gym. But these guys have gotten him to where he is today. And he put on a show. Very dominant performance for him. Proud of all my teammates, everybody. But Caleb's, he's a stud.
Yeah, who are some of the, I guess, the main training partners that you typically work with when you are like fully a go and you can do everything? I know this camp is a little bit different, but who are some of those main guys that you're typically getting that work in with?
I haven't done much training here at CM in quite a while. Obviously, the 5 years off and stuff. But for this camp, I did a lot of traveling for training. Because I didn't want to interfere with MMA practice. I didn't want to interfere with the guys doing the ground stuff. So I would only come on Wednesdays. That's MMA practice, sparring. And I would do rounds with everybody. But, you know, you try to, you know, wait. You try to be within the same weight classes. You know, I can do rounds with John Assam, but the guy outweighs me by 50 pounds. You know, the guy's, I don't know, 6'1", 6'2". He's huge compared to me, you know. So I try to do rounds with Caleb, but Caleb also wrestles and he does jiu-jitsu, so I had to stay away from that. So it was I did a lot of sparring for this camp with a lot of different people. I went to first class, got a lot of sparring in with Alicia Palmer, and those guys over there, Jake Detmeyer, Felipe Gutner. But there's a boxing gym, Cugnos Boxing. I went there a lot. I went to Justin Wolf Boxing up in Waterville. I just went around. When I'm healthy and I can do MMA and I can do jiu-jitsu, then it's more Han and Sanford, Tyler Parent, Caleb Austin, those guys more my weight class, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's talk about your road back a little bit here, because it really is. It's something to behold, man. Like, you should just be proud of getting back to where you're at right now. We talked a little bit before. You were telling me everything that you had been through. Neurocoidosis. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So you couldn't walk. You were telling me that, you know, you'd be falling down every 10 steps or whatnot, you know. Then you said you lost feeling from your nipples down. You lost a finger, which I got to get the backstory on that, how that happened. And then tore your ACL and had knee surgery. So again, you've been through the ringer. So it's amazing that you're just back to where you're at now. Run me through these last few years, everything that you've experienced and how hard it's been to stay positive after all the hurdles you had to overcome.
Oh man, I can't say it was always positive. It was definitely some dark times for me. I went through a depression for a while. But when you get I've had 9 fights. I was on top of my game. I had just beat the champion. Yeah, I missed weight. I should be a 2-time champion myself. But again, I missed weight. But man, I go from that to literally the next day not being able to walk. You know, it was literally a 24-hour change. I got admitted to the hospital for 4 days to run a bunch of tests. They shipped me down to Boston to get a bunch of tests. Definitely went through some dark times, but I had friends and the gym and everything that helped me get through all of that. Close friend of mine, Sarah Ziem, she did a lot for me at first. She kept me mentally positive, for the most part, as much as she could. I was going through a hard time, like I was saying, but she was always telling me there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. My neurologist, Mitchell Ross, same thing. He would always use the word hopeful. We're hopeful you're gonna be able to walk again. We're hopeful that you'll be able to fight again. It was tough, but I had to not give up. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing with my story is I'm not the best fighter. My goal isn't to make it to the UFC. My goal is to inspire other people. Maybe they started off 0-4. Maybe they're 0-3, whatever. I started off 0-3, and I came back. I won a title, and then I went back through all these. Couldn't walk, lost a finger, torn ACL, whatever is wrong with my knee now. Just stay positive, stay moving through it. Never give up. That's the biggest thing. Mental toughness. Mental toughness is the one thing I'm known for. I'll never quit, and nobody's ever gonna break that toughness. But it's been a journey. A lot of highs and highs and lows for both, emotional, physical. It's been crazy.
When you were diagnosed with this, did it just come out of nowhere? Did you have like any signs or symptoms? Like, because it seems like you fought and then you said, boom, this happened. That must have been kind of a whirlwind for you to have to be told this, and then the battle to get back to being 100% of yourself.
For sure. After my last fight, literally the day after, I was in the gym, I was training, and I had popped 6 discs in my spine. I had herniated 6 discs in my spine. So they did an MRI, and that's when they saw the disease in my spinal cord. It was literally the very next day. And when I lost feeling from my nipples down, it was the second my spine popped, I herniated those discs, I lost feeling. My legs went numb, my body went numb, and I had a really numbing sensation for a good 3 years. And I couldn't feel the ground. When I had to walk, I had to look at the ground to walk because I couldn't feel the floor. But it is what it is. You're never gonna hold me down. I'm always gonna come back. I got heart, and hopefully it teaches or inspires other people to never give up. I'm no Nick Newell or whatever his name is. I can't say it. Sorry, I apologize. But I'm not him. I'm not doing MMA with one hand. That there's other inspirations. I try to inspire as much as I can, but there's a lot of crazy stories out there.
Do you just feel almost just kind of grateful at this point just to be back to where you're at now after everything you've been through?
For sure. Especially for this fight. This, again, kind of disappointed at my performance, but it wasn't about winning or losing. It was about being able to compete again for this fight. I wanted to go out there and want to have fun, and I did. And the W feels great. I had a great opponent. You can't have a good fight without a good opponent. But it was a sign of relief. Believe me, I can do this again. I am back. I'm healthy enough, I should say. I'm not 100%, but man, it just hearing the crowd, hearing you ringside, it was amazing. It was my best fight. The fight I'm the most proud of is that one so far.
Any chance we can see you compete at NEF 45 in November?
Probably not. I have that MRI, like I said, this morning. I'm waiting for the surgeon to call me back to let me know how that's going to be. If I need surgery, that's going to be another year. Right now, every time I spar, put any weight on that, if I don't have a knee brace, it gives out. So it's a ligament for sure. It's something that's pretty bad. But I came back early from this ACL, and that's probably why I injured it again. It's the same knee. So I really need to take some time off and heal this knee. But my goal is to go pro. That is my goal. I do want to have at least one more fight as a pro. That's my goal. I just don't know when it will be. It probably won't be in November, but as soon as possible. I'm feeling good now, so I want to do it.
That's fantastic, man. Now, I can't let you go without talking a little bit about the coaching aspect, because you do coach Muay Thai there at CMBJJ. Just tell me how gratifying that is to teach that, and if that's something that maybe you envision yourself doing, long term.
For sure. That's something I've wanted to do. I would say, so I started mixed martial arts at CMBJJ 8 years ago. I wanted my first fight. Once I had that fight, I just wanted to coach. That's all I wanted to do. I've been fighting to make a name so I could coach. That's the whole goal. But thanks to Travis Wells, he made my dreams come true. He made me into a coach. I've been coaching now for about 3 years, and I've helped people, Cam Arnold, Nate Boucher, both of those guys gone and won titles. Brandon fought for a title against Nate. He came up a little short, but still, I'm helping these guys achieve their own goals, and I feel I'm a better coach than I am a fighter. And I think I'm a decent fighter, but man, I feel I'm a really good coach, and I can change these people's lives for the better. And that's what I'm trying to do. Maybe even if it's not for fighting, I've helped people lose weight. I've helped people everything and anything, whatever their goals are, I'm going to help them reach that goal, and I love that feeling, and I love it when these people are successful. It's a great feeling. You can't get any better than that.
Very cool and very well said. Dustin, pleasure to interview you here, man. I'm very happy that you got the win at NEF 4, split win, kickboxing over Geraldo Reyes. Before I let you go, man, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media, and I'm sure you have plenty of people to thank.
I do have a lot of people to thank. Thank you. So Instagram, Dustin_Veinott. Facebook, Dustin Veinott. It's pretty simple. Just my name. Shout out to my team. Jesse Erickson, my coach, Scott Frost, boxing coach, Travis Wells, the owner, all my sponsors, Shauna from Compass One Group is Realty Compass Group One. Sorry about that. Ron Dunn Builders, Keith from Medco, Top Terp Fuel, Aaron Scalia from AAA Pharmaceuticals Alternatives, Dustin Carrier Landscaping, Grant Inliner, Frank Phillips Woodcrafting. Probably forgot some, but thank you everybody, all my fans, the NEF, my opponent, everybody. Just thank you everybody so much. This is the highlight of my career right now for me, is this one fight. So thank you for everybody being part of it, the support, the love. I appreciate it from everybody. Thank you.